Hey everyone, welcome back to English Connect.
Hi there. We're so glad you're here with us today.
I'm your host, Sophia.
And I'm Jason. This is your space to practice real, everyday English in a relaxed and friendly way.
If you're enjoying our podcast, please hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more learners like you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your support. So, Sophia, what are we talking about today?
Today's topic is something I think everyone can relate to: travel. We're going to share some of our travel experiences, talk about our favorite destinations, and discuss what we love about exploring new places.
That sounds exciting. I love talking about travel.
Me too. And just so everyone knows how we've organized today's episode, we'll start with a natural conversation about our travel experiences. Then we'll break down 5 key vocabulary words and phrases that came up in our discussion. And finally, we'll wrap up with a fun challenge for all of you.
Perfect. So, if you're ready to join us on this journey, let's get started.
So, Jason, I have to ask, when was the last time you traveled somewhere?
Oh, good question. The last trip I took was about 2 months ago. I went to Barcelona.
Barcelona. I've always wanted to go there. How was it?
It was incredible. The architecture is just stunning. I spent hours walking around looking at Gaudi's buildings, especially the Sagrada Familia.
I've seen pictures of that church. It looks absolutely beautiful.
It's even more impressive in person, trust me. What about you? Where did you go last?
My most recent trip was to Japan. I went to Tokyo and Kyoto.
Wow, Japan. That must have been amazing. I've never been to Asia.
It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. The culture is so different, the food is incredible, and everyone was so polite and helpful.
What did you like most about it?
Honestly, I loved the food. I'm a huge fan of Japanese cuisine, and eating authentic ramen and sushi in Japan was like a dream come true.
I can imagine. Did you have any trouble with the language barrier?
A little bit, yeah. Not many people speak English in some areas, especially in smaller restaurants. But you know what? People were so patient with me. I learned a few basic Japanese phrases before I went, like arigato for thank you and sumimasen for excuse me.
That's smart. I think learning a few phrases in the local language always helps. People appreciate the effort.
Exactly. Even if you make mistakes, they can see you're trying. What about your trip to Barcelona? Did you speak Spanish?
I speak a little Spanish, but not much. Luckily, a lot of people in Barcelona speak English because it's such a tourist destination. But I definitely tried to use Spanish when I could.
That's good. So, what was your favorite part of Barcelona?
Besides the architecture, I really loved the food scene. The tapas bars were incredible. I would just go from bar to bar, trying different small plates.
Oh, that sounds like my kind of trip. Just eating your way through a city.
Absolutely. And the atmosphere was so lively. People were out late, sitting at outdoor cafes, just enjoying life. It felt very relaxed.
That's one thing I love about traveling, experiencing different ways of life. In Tokyo, everything was so efficient and organized. The trains run on time to the second.
Really? That's impressive.
It is. But then in Kyoto, things felt more traditional and peaceful. I visited some beautiful temples and gardens. It was so calming.
Did you travel alone or with someone?
I went with my best friend, Rachel. We'd been talking about going to Japan together for years, so finally doing it was really special.
That's nice. Traveling with a friend can be really fun. I actually went to Barcelona by myself.
Oh, solo travel. How was that experience?
At first, I was a bit nervous, but honestly, I ended up really enjoying it. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. If I wanted to spend 3 hours in a museum, I could. If I wanted to just sit in a cafe and people watch, I could do that too.
I like that freedom. Did you meet other travelers?
Yeah, I stayed in a hostel, so I met people from all over the world. One night, a group of us went out for dinner together. It was really fun.
That's one of the best parts of traveling, meeting new people. I met some really interesting people in Japan, too. There was this couple from Australia at our hotel, and we ended up exploring Kyoto together for a day.
Small world, isn't it?
It really is. So, do you have any travel plans coming up?
I'm thinking about going to Portugal next. Maybe Lisbon or Porto?
Oh, I've heard amazing things about Portugal. The beaches, the seafood, the history.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be more affordable than a lot of other European countries.
That's always a bonus. Traveling can get expensive.
Tell me about it. My Barcelona trip wasn't cheap, but it was worth every penny.
Same with Japan. I saved for months, but I have no regrets. What about you? Any dream destinations?
I really want to go to New Zealand. The landscapes look absolutely breathtaking.
Oh, yes. I've seen pictures. It looks like another planet. Mountains, beaches, fjords. It has everything.
What's on your travel bucket list?
I'd love to go to Italy. Rome, Florence, Venice. I want to see it all. The art, the history, the pasta.
Of course, the pasta.
You know me too well. But seriously, there's something romantic about Italy. The whole country seems like one big work of art.
I agree. You know what's interesting? I used to be afraid of flying when I was younger.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, I would get really anxious on planes, but the more I traveled, the easier it got. Now, I actually enjoy flying.
That's great that you overcame that fear. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
What about you? Any travel fears or challenges?
I get a bit anxious about getting lost in places where I don't speak the language, but I've learned to just embrace it. Sometimes getting lost leads to the best discoveries.
That's a great attitude. Some of my best travel memories are from times when things didn't go according to plan.
Like what?
Well, in Barcelona, I took the wrong metro line and ended up in a completely different neighborhood. But it turned out to be this charming local area with great cafes that weren't touristy at all.
See? Happy accidents. I had something similar in Kyoto. I got off at the wrong bus stop, but I ended up finding this tiny traditional tea house that wasn't in any guidebook.
Those are the moments that make travel special. You can't plan for everything.
Exactly. That's why I think travel is so important. It teaches you to be flexible and open-minded.
And it gives you perspective. When you see how other people live, it makes you think differently about your own life.
I couldn't agree more. Every time I come back from a trip, I feel like I've grown as a person.
Same here. It's not just about seeing new places, it's about experiencing different cultures and ways of thinking.
Well said, Jason. I think our listeners are probably getting inspired to book their next trip right about now.
I hope so. Traveling is one of the best investments you can make in yourself.
All right, everyone. Let's take a moment to go over some key vocabulary that came up in our conversation. We're going to explain 5 useful words and phrases that you can use when talking about travel.
Yes, and remember, you don't need to memorize all of these today. Just pick 1 or 2 that seem useful to you and try to use them in your own conversations.
First word, stunning. I used this when Jason was describing Barcelona. Jason, can you explain what stunning means?
Sure. Stunning means extremely impressive or beautiful. It's a strong word, stronger than just nice or pretty. For example, the sunset was stunning, or she wore a stunning dress.
Right. We often use it to describe things that almost take your breath away. The view from the mountain was stunning. The architecture in Barcelona was stunning.
Exactly. Next word, authentic. Sophia, you mentioned eating authentic ramen in Japan.
Yes, authentic means genuine or real, the original version of something, not a copy or imitation. Authentic Japanese food means real Japanese food made the traditional way, not an American or European version of it.
So if you go to an authentic Italian restaurant, you expect to eat real Italian food made by Italians or people who truly understand Italian cuisine.
Perfect example. Third word, bucket list. We both use this phrase.
A bucket list is a list of things you want to do or experience before you die. It comes from the expression kick the bucket, which is a casual way to say to die.
Right, but don't worry, it's not a sad phrase at all. People use it in a positive way. Visiting Japan was on my bucket list, or seeing the Northern Lights is on my bucket list.
What are some common bucket list items? Traveling to certain countries, learning a language, skydiving, writing a book, big goals and dreams.
Next phrase, people watch. Jason, you said you enjoyed sitting in cafes and people watching in Barcelona.
Yes, people watching means sitting somewhere and observing people around you. You watch how they dress, how they interact, what they do. It's a relaxing activity, and it's really interesting in a new city or country.
I love people watching at airports. You see so many different types of people from all over the world.
Me too. It's like free entertainment. And our final word, perspective.
This is a really important word. Perspective means the way you see or understand something. Your perspective is your point of view.
Right. And when we said travel gives you perspective, we mean it helps you see things in a new way. It changes how you think about the world and your own life.
For example, if you visit a country that's very different from yours, you gain perspective on your own culture. You might appreciate things you took for granted, or you might question things you never thought about before.
It's all about opening your mind to different viewpoints and experiences.
Perfect. So let's quickly review. We learned stunning, authentic, bucket list, people watch, and perspective.
Great words for talking about travel or really any life experience.
Well, Jason, I think we covered a lot today. We talked about our travel experiences, shared some stories, and learned some useful vocabulary.
We did. I really enjoyed this conversation. It's making me want to book my next trip right now.
Me too. Before we finish, let's give our listeners a challenge for this week.
Yes. So here's your challenge, everyone. We want you to write a comment and tell us about a place you've traveled to, or if you haven't traveled much yet, tell us about your dream destination.
Try to use at least one of the vocabulary words we taught today: stunning, authentic, bucket list, people watch, or perspective.
For example, you could write, I visited Thailand last year and the beaches were stunning, or going to Paris is on my bucket list.
We read every single comment, and we love hearing from you. It's great practice for your writing, and it helps us understand what topics you want to hear about.
And if you want to challenge yourself even more, try to write 2 or 3 sentences. Tell us what you liked about the place or why you want to go there.
Also, if you have ideas for future episodes, let us know in the comments. What topics do you want us to discuss? Food, relationships, daily routines, health and fitness?
We're here to help you practice English in a natural, conversational way, so your input really matters to us.
Before we say goodbye, please remember to subscribe to English Connect if you haven't already. It helps us so much, and you'll get notified whenever we upload a new episode.
And if you found this episode helpful, give it a like and share it with a friend who's also learning English. Learning together is more fun.
That's so true. You know, learning English is a journey, kind of like travel. You're exploring a new language, discovering new expressions, and gaining new perspectives.
I love that comparison. And just like travel, there will be challenges and moments when you feel lost, but that's all part of the adventure.
Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and remember that every conversation is practice, even if you make mistakes.
Mistakes are how we learn. Don't be afraid to use English in real situations, even if it feels uncomfortable at first.
All right, everyone, that's all for today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Keep practicing, keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Until next time, happy learning.
And happy travels, whether that's traveling to new places or traveling through your English learning journey.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.